God was not dead. The girl would change that soon enough. Novella had hoped for a more dramatic backdrop for her act of deicide, not this stark white place. Undeterred, Novella glared at crude scribbles on the rock wall. The scrawl told a tale she knew all too well. Bliss betrayed his brother Forgo, god of knowledge, read the first inscription. She had ventured far to save her people from the self-titled god of ignorance. Bliss was the dark god's name, a sick joke in a sick world. He had purged all knowledge from the land, burned every book, emptied every head. Then he slept. But scraps of knowledge lived on. Its keepers raised mighty heroes and sent them to destroy him. He burned all the books in the world, and Forgo burned with them. Forgo, the benign but long dead deity her people worshipped. She was here in his name. Bliss himself, somewhere deep within the fetid fortress, darkly amused. He knew she was here. Novella debated whether to grit her teeth or crack her knuckles in response. She opted for the latter, as one of Bliss's servants had appeared. Priests, he called them. Their eyes were dull, their steps slow, addled by scouring whatever awful power controlled. A mere distraction from her objective. Her small, iron-hard fist. The priests fell quickly. Truly, Novella's power was unrivaled. From that day forth, anyone caught writing or reading was arrested and scoured. To scour a mind was to forcibly empty it of all knowledge, even of one's own identity and beliefs. Few people so much as spoke now, let alone knew what to do with a written word, a living hell. Amid the melee, Novella fancied she saw a familiar face. She shuddered in sudden realization. These priests were her predecessors, fellow heroes now fallen. Empty-headed slaves to Bliss. She would spare her knuckles from more scars. With a shove, flames would take these ones. The screams, the terrible screams. This was not the most heroic act, but the fire was cathartic, burning all trace of Bliss's reign. This, then, must be the place. Bliss's throne room, the heart of ignorance. Or so the now deafening, skin-shriveling laughter ahead would very much seem to suggest. Novella was shocked to find that the final scrawl differed from the tale she had known all her life. And at last, the world was happy, it read. No argument, no division, no war. Peace through ignorance, the age of bliss, the age of reason. The tyrant believed himself a liberator, it seemed. Novella's vision swam as a wash of sickly light flooded over her. A hulking yet spindly shape moved slowly into focus. Sunken, glinting eyes, pennies in a well, talons to pierce any hide, a spine like blunted teeth. And that smile, that awful dead sheep smile, growing wider and wider. Bliss, the god of ignorance, on his throne, in his element, laughing. Novella finally opened her mouth and began to pronounce that the cruel god's reign was at an end. No sound escaped her now terrified lips. Impossibly, Bliss's titanic smile grew wider still. Novella snarled silently and ran to hit him full force across his bread-knife jaw.
Attacking your god? We can't have that. I seek only to help you, not to harm you. I suppose I slept for too long. Wasn't around to remind people of what was right. No, knowledge leads to greed, division, and cruelty. You seek freedom? Then become pure of thought. Allow me to demonstrate by granting you the greatest gift of all, a beautifully empty mind.
Bliss coolly snapped his fingers, and, just like that, Novella, hero of knowledge, was scoured, gone, forever.
Now, my newest slave, your too wise presence makes me concerned that knowledge has somehow returned. Your new quest is to find the source of this wisdom and destroy it. Simple as that. Oh, and please beat the sense out of any intellectuals you find. They'll put you onto the right trail. His name is Runcible Mautica Slabberdigalian Tatterdemalian Gongoozle Borborigmus. Tatters for short. He will follow you wherever you go. He has, hunger for knowledge. Go save it from itself, Novella. Rid it of the scourge of knowledge. You shall be a hero after all. Welcome to paradise, a place of absolute stupidity. At least that's the plan. Every mind scoured.
All around was calm, eerily so. Novella became aware of an odd weight in her hands. A book.
Aren't I just awful? The icon of knowledge used as a tool of ignorance. I call it the Book of Bliss.
The book was heavy as stone and bore no words. It wasn't for reading, but to beat Bliss's foes into submission. Tatters, the shambling bird thing, had also joined Novella in this lush new place.
I should also mention that wherever the Book of Bliss goes, Tatters here will follow. I'd say like a dog with a stick, but frankly that would be an insult to dogs.
Tatters was too busy gnawing off one of his own arm feathers to take notice of Bliss's jibe.
You are tethered to this book too. Throw it elsewhere, and it will pull you back to it. You may well find this useful. Oh, a statue to you? You were these half-wits' hero once. They believed you would save them. Well, you will, but not in the way they think. Not now you've woken cuddly Uncle Bliss.
The sandpapery scrape of Bliss rubbing his hands together echoed around Novella's vacated skull.
This is exactly what I worried about. That's a shrine to Forgo, long dead god of knowledge, you see. By my laws, everyone here should be perfectly stupid, savage even. Certainly not smart enough to construct this. Clearly, someone still worships knowledge, which means there's surely a rebellion in the offing.
Something lurched inside Novella's mind, as once nonsensical fragments were assembled into a quote.
Trust me, that awful, powerful quote is far better off with us than loose in the world.
Novella's toothsome puppet master was quietly gloating. Bliss's priest gestured towards a tumble-down dwelling behind him. More of a cave, really. Darkness encircled a book at the cave's rear, though just for a moment it had looked like light.
A book! Forgo's foul legacy still spoiling my verdant land. Feed it to Tatters, Novella, and seal away its evil forever.
Novella felt droplets of spittle splatter against her hind brain as Bliss bellowed wildly. Dressed in a farmer's rags, this woman was dragging a lonely furrow in the ground. As Novella advanced, the thick forest all around her began to thin, replaced by rough stumps.
What's going on here? These ignoramuses should barely know how to snap a twig, let alone fell a tree. I smell the stench of knowledge. I sense rebellion.
Scratching, endlessly scratching. Fleas leaped from hair to hair like a circus. The hunched fellow spun in circles as Novella approached, like an overexcited spaniel greeting its master.
That explains the felled trees. Letter blocks for a printing press, which means free speech. Blasphemy! In an ideal world, I'd burn it on the spot. But we need to find the print works, and that will require subterfuge. My nose is tingling with bog water. I believe that our culprit is hiding out in the swamps. Bliss's nose is so big he must smell really, well, bad. Is that an insult? Someone needs to read Cyrano de Bergerac. Meanwhile, burn literal note. Find the rest of these horrible notes. Burn it all. A marketplace is a prime place to disseminate wisdom. Shut it down. That should draw the author out. If only we could see these ants more closely, we could save them too. This clothing is also buttoned down. Flies would suit it much better. Superb. If you toddle to that cave, we can get that tome.
Lacking the vacant expression Novella was used to, these creatures were beetle-browed in fury at the sight of her.
I hope to never know the origin of that rancid purple gunk, but it's sticky enough to hold a switch down. Useful.
Spoke Bliss with the breezy manner of someone who did not have to press his own hand into an awful indigo ichor.
Ah, now that was a good book. Public Relations and Propaganda. Now where hides its brave author? Excellent. For a mindless minion, you certainly excel at menial tasks. Now, head to that cave. Oh, what's this? Bliss is rubish. Oh, dreadful spelling, but great propaganda. I feel an author is near. Find the rest of these horrible notes. Burn it all. Well done. That quote comes from that noisome cave over there. Wisdom is good for you. Eat bucks with every meal. Find the rest of these horrible notes. Burn it all. The smell of ink and wood, and an author popped into existence, enraged at his lost missives. He paled at the sight of Novella. There he is! No need to spin this positively. You destroyed the book and the author. Well done. This clothing is also buttoned down. Flies would suit it much better. You should smell poop with a nose my size. Oh, for some roses to drive away the smell. Another blow struck to human wisdom.
The author slid into view like an ambulatory recession.
Let's show this economist there is such a thing as a free lunch. A knuckle sandwich.
These knowledge cultists each brandished a fish on a stick. Well, a weapon was a weapon, no matter how risible.
The sardines and arrowfish of outrageous fortune. Be sure to beat the sense out of them with my Bible before they can prod you with one of those peculiar piscine prongs.
Novella's ears popped unpleasantly at every over-enunciated P.
Now we've burned her book, how about we hunt down the author, too? Incinerating the author would finally free this corner of the world from knowledge, and I think I know where they are.
A turtle-backed man mooched around the room, clearly far better defended than his unarmored fellows.
It would seem they have been preparing for your arrival.
A rattling sigh pinballed upwards from Bliss's spindly ribcage. He had hoped it would all be over by now.
Don't be precious. Push! The shock of it stuns these oiks for just long enough that you can get the better of them. The supply of authors and books in this area has been reduced to 0. Superb!
covered this figure from top to toe as it grubbed around in the dirt for food.
Not all the world's people are as peaceful as this. You'll see knowledge in terrible action soon enough. Enjoy the relative calm of life among the beasts while you can.
There was a cold fondness in Bliss's voice, like that of an owner tending to a pet with a long-term bowel complaint. A glimmer of understanding in this one's eyes, she pointed dismally towards a nearby cave. An invitation or a warning?
Some might think these mindless souls a tragic sight. Notice, though, that none of them fight or even argue. By burning all the books, well, almost all, I have united a divided land, united by absolute stupidity.
Though arrogant, a tremulous note in Bliss's voice suggested a need for approval. The man turned listless eyes to Novella. Unaware that she had just given Bliss the keys to the rebel's castle, the woman refilled the bucket with ink. The woman could only hum, ceaselessly and unnervingly. Novella thought it best to move on. Beside Novella's head, Bliss murmured approvingly at this voluntary embrace of ignorance. An anxious-eyed woman tried, unconvincingly, to conceal vats of bubbling black liquid. A dour woman took the inky bucket from Novella's hands, then suddenly started in horrified recognition. The woman cowered in fear, but everyone else in the press sprang to life. Rather violent life. Novella would have to fight. Imprisoned animals were cruelly pressed in order to extract colored liquids, inks for the clandestine print works.
Such hideous things done in the name of knowledge.
Despite his words, Bliss's voice held no empathy for the agonized creatures. This next chamber contained vast vats of ink. Untold numbers of newspapers and posters could be printed here. Truly, this was rebellion against ignorance on an industrial scale.
Find your way to the heart of this insidious operation and shut it down. Only then can this land be saved from knowledge. Sticks out like a sore thumb, doesn't he? A sore, smart thumb. He's not from around here. Which implies that someone from elsewhere is attempting to seed this area with knowledge. A rival. This bonehead brain box is too tough to deal with directly. Throw the blessed book into his face, and it'll daze him for a precious moment or two.
Bliss could not afford for this servant to fall, not now he knew that far-off foes were gathering against him. Wherever this place was, it was dizzyingly different to the last. Evidently, civilization had arisen, as demonstrated by an abundance of fishing poles.
As you can see, this place is not quite so pure of thought as the last. Someone has interfered with it. Knowledge is commonplace, and I'm afraid everyone here can talk. Soon enough we will rid it of learning, but first I have another task for you. The elders of this place have built an observatory, knowledge made brick and mortar, used to search the skies and understand their place in the world. I would love to demolish it, but first I must make use of it. Its telescope can locate where the new masters of knowledge are hiding. You must find your way there and seize control of it. Then, if it makes you feel any better, we can burn it all down. Magic realism, you see, always spilling over into people's lives.
Her nervous eyes twitched.
You must find these devils, Novella. Convince them to turn on their master.
The incompetent fellow had moved the body and bed linen and was busy wiping up any fingerprints. Lodger looked a little uncomfortable to have everyone in his room. This older woman looked utterly destroyed. The name Vata is carved into the wood. A defiant look gleamed from a dark, piggy eye. The victim's sister was shivering in the cold attic. A defiant look gleamed. This older woman. Lodger looked a little... The author creeps out, fearing a trial.
His words have been spreading misery. Get him! This is the ice cream factory. Its devilish recipes drive the young folk wild and the old folk to despair. Make your way in there, find out what makes this ice cream so potent, then liberate this place from the tyranny of pudding.
A cone is for For a perfect cone, the sum of the directrix and genetrix must approach pi. Also, it must be made of waffle. You learn something every day. Stacked like a series of dunces' hats, the cones filled the room. Whatever its origin, this most certainly was not everyday milk. Something unearthly shimmered almost imperceptibly through its alabaster surface. It made no logical or physical sense, but they were milking the book for all it had. This filthy bottle was almost illegible. Novella could just make out Prodno and Ik El Guru.
These unnatural ingredients are doubtless responsible for all this lactose-based chaos.
Novella roughly prized the bottle from the machine. The cow emitted a dreadful, keening wail, then fell motionless.
I rather think you broke its life support machine. Oh, never mind. At least they can't make any more ice cream now. So long, strawberry. Bye-bye, banana. Ciao, chocolate. Vamoose, vanilla. Speaking of vamoosing, you should do the same. There's nothing more to be done here. To the observatory!
The Titan seemed utterly stupefied, which was probably for the best. The factory owner slapped its rump fondly. Endless images of ice cream had been scrawled upon the ground. A dessert had become a cult, clearly. Her snappy, dark suit fit the figure better than his sins. The observatory's heavy door remained resolutely shut.
Well, no one would ever believe that one as empty-headed as you was a scientist. Perhaps, however, you could find... After all, something's making the stuff so addictive. Something artificial. Finally, we're here. Now to sample the fishy fruits of their knowledge netting. Just forget I ever said that, okay? That's an order.
Even a god of ignorance could recognize a badly mixed metaphor.
We must get to the upper floor. From there we have a view of all the surrounding lands. Then, finally, we can work out where this ghastly knowledge is coming from.
A deboned, wild animal had been pinned to the floor in some bizarre parody of a welcome mat. A diet of magic realism obviously hadn't taught the locals humanity or empathy.
This entrance is sealed tight, and it sounds like the absurdatorians have barricaded themselves inside.
The suspicious woman from outside had followed Novella in, her eyes burned.